wanted to take a look at the games I played with Frank. Henry's playing with Christian. And then I'll probably look at one of the games after we mix up the teams. Super windy this day. Looking forward to it. Let's see what I can come up with. And it's either commenting on volleyball footage or playing World of Warcraft. So not a bad use of my time. Let's take a look. The wind is pretty impactful here. Good shot. I think that was out. I'll probably wait for a better chance. So compared to this to some of the other footage we've seen, Henry does take a step back. This is pretty good. He could even take one more step back this way, so then he can adjust more. But at least he does take a step backwards. He's lateral with Chris, pretty much, but he does give him space one way or another, which is good. But then the wind takes this ball, and Henry has to make an adjustment. If he would have taken an extra step back, he would have still had to adjust, but it wouldn't have been as much an interference of the play. It's really hard when it's this windy, though. So good try. Nice serve. So this play, I don't remember what happened here, but Henry has a lot more time, and if Chris gives him a decent set, Henry's gonna probably have a much better approach. Let's see what ends up happening. Okay, well he hits it over, but I think it would have actually been a better opportunity for Henry if Chris would have been able to put up in a good spot. I don't blame Chris for going over on that, but yeah. Not bad. Let's see if I can point out anything here. So it's hard to see because we're getting screened, but I'm keeping some distance between Frank and myself, and I'm really intentionally trying to create a lot of distance between myself and the setter in this round of games, and that lets me able to adjust the ball, and making a pretty low contact compared to other players, but we're still able to get a decent shot in. A lot of video lag on that one, but that set's too tight. I'll review something on this play too. So this is a much different type of play than the play we just looked at. I want to show you something I'm thinking about during this play. That's the next one. It's not this one. Okay, so serves to me. Now I give Frank a bad pass. This pass is too tight. So instead of giving him a lot of space, I'm trying to actually just get close to him, and I'm expecting a shitty set. So I'm trying to stay close and try to help him out. Then the ball goes over, and I'm gonna try to cover the area that Frank left. Is this the same play? Yeah, I guess so. So I kind of expected, or at least I wanted to be in the position to cover Frank's spot, and then I get to the ball in time, pop it up, decent spot to the target. Frank somehow set looks relatively clean. Set looks pretty clean, and I'm able to hit it in motion, and it ends up being a decent shot. No, this is you can't do this. So you notice anytime any of us, if our feet are not set and balanced while setting, it usually leads to a double touch. Sometimes lift, usually double. So he's out of balance. He's kind of falling backwards, and then he's just not able to do a full body set. So he kind of just pushes the ball with his hands instead of setting the ball, and then you'll see as a result, like the ball spins a lot. We're not calling that in this game though. All right, set it out. Just kind of sloppy. I'll look at this though. This play starts on the serve receive. Is it here? I think I have to go further back. It's the next way I hit it out, but the serve. Christian actually has a pretty good serve. He can serve with power. But with this ball, I mean, Frank he takes a step, but he should be using a digging platform here. This you should really only be like hitting it above your head if the ball is above your head. And a lot of times if it's above your head, you should be letting it go. So he's slapping the ball here. He should try to dig this and pop it up. Against a better team, he gives Henry a free ball. A good team is going to be able to score on this play the majority of the time. I want to comment on that approach, but it's just easier when they're on the close side, so I'm not going to do that. So windy. That he actually received it cleanly. I remember this play. That was like the first time I've ever seen someone receive with their hands cleanly off a serve, but not a good habit. It could have been called, just because it's unusual. Some bullshit. Nice. Let's see if we can comment on some of Henry and Christian's gameplay here. Now it's closer, easier to analyze. So, Henry should be using his platform here. He does take a good step back. He moves to the ball. He does a good job of doing that. But he should open up and set out a platform back here. Instead, he forms a fist and the ball can go anywhere. Its serve receiving was really hard today, though. But. Okay, good pass. Low set. Good ups. Wow. Good serve. Henry's good serves are very good. The footwork and the arm mechanics, I think, are gonna make it inconsistent though. If he played just a couple months consistently, I think he'd be really good. He could clean up some things pretty naturally and improve quickly. I feel like there's some days when Henry plays better than me, and then there's some days when he doesn't. So he probably knows this, but I think he's righty, but he ends up hitting this with his left hand anyways, and then he he kind of just pops the ball up instead of hitting it. He ends up scoring though on this play. Shit. I like how he has a lot of space to work with the ball here. So does make an approach. It's not like a typical 1-2 explosive 1-2 jump up. But he hits it with like the base of his hand, and it's just it was a well placed shot, even though it's kind of weird. I don't think that set would have flied in a strict game, but let's just see anything about this set here. I think that set was a double. See, he's the problem with this, what led to the problem with this set is Frank's just not balanced when he sets. So he's still like on his way backwards, and at the very end, he does go forward a little bit. But he's just not balanced enough to be able to do the set properly. So both of his feet are kind of like in line with each other, where ideally, his left foot would be a little bit more in front, and his legs can help push this ball. Instead, he's kind of off balance, and it leads to a double, I think. Nice pass, nice set. So let's see what happened here. This is a good play. I think I went too far back. Yeah, I hit it in the net. Okay. Frank gives me great first pass. The ball's not too high. I'm able to get there. See how, different from Frank. Like I'm trying to get behind the ball, look to the pin. One of my feet is in front. Preferably the foot that's on my line is going to be close to the net, and then I'm going forward with the ball. Compared to some players are like upright or falling backwards, but I'm able to do a full body push. The set. Let me see where Frank is on this play when I'm setting the ball. So starting his approach, he's starting just a little early, but at least he does make a movement out into the left. So, I have a lot of space where I can set to Frank's right hand, and he can still make an adjustment if needed. He still might be. He started the approach a little bit too early, but at least I think there's a good amount of space for him to adjust here. So yeah, he goes too forward, and there's a lot of wind here too. So notice he's hitting the ball like behind his head. Well, it ends up being like on top of his head, but he has to like really lean back to try to get this ball. Chris touches it, but it ends up still being a pretty good play. It could have been cleaned up a little, and it could have been even better. His attack ended up being like pretty fluid. He was just too in front of the ball. I think the wind also took it. So he had to adjust. It's just tricky. The winds. I won last time. Yeah. All right. serve receive really tough. Alright, see, we're going to talk about Chris's set here too. Okay, so he gets an okay pass. He gets the ball. His legs are backwards here, and he's just not fully balanced when he makes this set. So it leads him to using his arms more than a full body set, and it leads to an illegal set. I'll watch it again. He's kind of falling backwards, so it leads to a dirty set. The serves today, so hard to get. Ace. Wilds. Is that out? Out. I'm gonna point out Chris's serve in a second because he has a good serve. Chris, unlike Julio, he's not like getting a lot of spin on this ball, but I just like how he like does a whole swing and follows through every time. His elbows comes up. Ah man, this video's choppy. I'm gonna try again. Cuts it off a little bit, but I think he's following through on his serve more than other players, and it's leading him to just generate more power. But you'll see the ball floats a little bit, whereas like if he does what Julio does, I think it would be interesting for him to try getting a toss with more spin, and then I think he could roll if he's making the same contact that Julio's making at the end. It's just Julio is flicking the ball and adding more spin on the toss, where he's kind of doing a float toss. So I think that's the difference. Let's see if we can watch that one. So Henry gets a good pass here. Let's see where he is when he gives Chris some good space. See what happens. The wind, I think, takes the ball further to the left than he expects. So he has to kind of go across his body here. And I think that's just what caused him to not make clean contact with the ball. I think the wind took that one. Sucks. Alright, I'll try to break this down. Hopefully I know what I'm talking about here. Did I go too far back? My serve's ass. So we can't really see. He gets a lot of momentum. This serve's really hard to read. Could go anywhere. Henry gets his left arm as a guide here, but then sometimes his left arm like flails out either to the right or to the left. I think it would be better if he just put his arm up and then back down instead of going side to side. So like he's breaking his attack with his left arm here. And I don't think he has to do that. Let's watch it again. Okay. I mean, it ends up being a good serve anyways, but. And then let's watch his the defensive reception. Super. I mean, this ball is high, and with this wind, it's kind of hard to read. Henry does have to move. but this is not a it's not a strong stance. You know, ideally you want to be like shoulder width apart. So this ball, just judging by where he's squared up right now, it's gonna go here, but it could kind of, he just doesn't have a solid stance, and he's not going to be able to make a solid platform with this stance, so the ball ends up going outwards. Much easier said than done with this wind and kind of unexpected ball over the net. But okay, so I want to look at this set by Chris because I think this sets end up being better. So here, notice how, you know, he has the proper foot in front. He's going forwards instead of backwards. He does kind of push the ball with his whole body, and it's a much cleaner set. Whoa. Okay, this is a new game now. I'll make a new video for this.